Hello everybody and welcome back to the Outdoor Channel. We are out here again on beautiful Rainy Lake. We've been out here catching smallies, walleyes, and Rainy Lake is really well known for their population of pike. This is one of the reasons why we've done so well. This is a new Explorer 12 from Humminbird. Now I'm not sponsored by Humminbird or anything from Johnson, but spent some of my own money on this, and there's lots of videos out there talking about all the features on here. We'll cover a little bit of that today, but really we're going to focus on this custom mount that we did here. Now, as you can see, we took out the stock gauges that are here, or that used to be here on the boat, and replaced it with, again, the Explorer 12. And then off to the side here, I currently have the iPilot link on here, but we have our Mercury Vessel View Mobile that we could put on here so we can get things like fuel, get RPMs, and all the things that you can get from the readouts of Vessel View Mobile. One boat network from Humminbird if you want to have that. Of course, again, we have iPilot link here. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go a little backwards in time. We're going to talk about the steps we took in the shop to get this install done. And I've been following along on the channel. We used to have a very similar install of the Helix 15 that was here. Really great unit. It was a little bit too big. This 12 fits in here a lot better, as you can tell. We've taken that Helix 15, we've moved it up to the bow with a balls up mount. It's been absolutely fantastic up there. So all coming up next, stay tuned. Alright, so we're going back in time here a little bit. As you can see from the screen, we originally had a Helix 15 here at the home, and basically what had happened is I had bought this back when it was a pandemic, and I wanted to put a 12-inch Helix here. Couldn't get my hands on one, so I ended up with the Helix 15. Once we got it installed, it's like, wow, this is really too big, and this really kind of gave the idea of doing the custom mount to begin with. And basically what we did is purchased a new bezel. Now this is really designed for Mercury Vessel View, although I think you can put like a Helix 7 or something in there. This is a dealer-only part. It's a little expensive for a piece of plastic. I will leave a part number over in the description. But as you can see, it's basically the same basic shape as the stock gauge bezel, but the opening there is a little bit bigger. Now, a Helix 15 or even the Explorer that we're talking about, it's not going to fit directly in there. We are going to have to modify this a little bit, but we'll show you how to do that next. All we ended up doing is getting a piece of aluminum stock. This was a 1/4 inch thick. I got this at Amazon. Again, I will leave some part numbers over in the description. Just took some time and kind of cleaned it up, rounded off the corners a little bit so you didn't have anything really sharp poking at you. And then went through and drilled some holes in the appropriate location and simply attached this to the new bezel. And after that, it was simply a matter of doing some test fitting, drilling out some new holes to mount the hardware for the gemma mount, and basically lining things up. Was definitely a little bit of trial and error, so I do recommend taking your time, making sure you have everything lined up the way you want it. And now you have the not so fun job of removing these stock gauges from the boat. It's not terribly hard, it is rather tedious. Go ahead and take your time. If you want to label some of the wiring, in case you want to restore things down the road, you can go ahead and do that at this point. And like I said earlier in the video, we are going back in time a little bit. We have added some other electronics to the boat over the last few seasons. You can see here we've added a Helix 8 to the front of the boat and later replaced it with the Helix 15 that we showed you earlier. We have also added the Ethernet switch or the Humminbird One Boat Network. Not at all going to hit any of the details on this. I do have full-length install videos. You can check out my channel whenever it's convenient, but we are going to reference this as we continue the Explorer install. Alright, just going to do a quick test fit and see if the mounting position from the Helix will also work for this Explorer. And before we go and really tighten everything down, and that looks like it's going to work. I've got plenty of windshield here to be able to see. Of course, not having a graph here, I've got plenty of windshield here to be able to see and be safe. Lots of room between here and the steering wheel. I think really the next thing is to go through and start to change out my Helix connections for the Explorer connection, and we'll do that next. Gonna miss having this little quick connect because the back of the Explorer doesn't take any of these or use the quick connect here. All right, this is my power distribution that I've had here previously when I did the networking. Everything has got a fuse on it for the appropriate size for the unit. We're gonna have to change some of this out because the connection for the Explorer is different than the Helix, so we're gonna have to change some of this out, add a new inline fuse to it. So when connecting your new inline fuse to your red line here, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can use some of these automotive style butt connectors. Basically you pop a wire in one, pop a wire on the other, crimp them, and you're good to go. In my case, I do prefer to solder. Just doing a little prep work here by putting some solder on the tip here, and I've got my heat shrink ready. Once I connect the two wires, you'll have to do this to whichever method you're more comfortable with. Some people like the solder, some people don't. Your boat, you do what you want. All right, so just putting positive back to positive and negative to negative. Now this one has a ground that I'm going to have to find a solution for. This is supposed to get grounded to the chassis of the boat. Every boat's a little bit different. I'm going to see if I can find something here in this compartment that I can ground it to, but otherwise it's just a matter of hooking things back up. All right, and this is a 5 amp fuse. There is a fuse chart that comes with the instructions. Just make sure that you use the correct fuse size. Okay, moving on to transducers. This transducer down here is what comes with the new Explorer model. Looks a little bit thicker and a little bit shorter than the current MSI MDI transducers you would see from the Helix models. A couple things to note is it has the Solix and Apex style plug on here, so if you're coming from a Helix, that would have this style plug that most of you are familiar with. And in my case, we have transducers here at the back of the boat that take that style plug, so these will have to come off or be repurposed. They're not going to work with the new Explorer unit. And you saw down there we had both the MSI MDI transducer and we had the 2D transducer, so we'll have to replace both of those again with this style plug on both of them. This splitter that we had for the Helix units will not work. We have to get a new splitter. And if you have anything that needs to be extended, go ahead and get the appropriate extension. I'll leave part numbers in the description. Transducer plate if you need it. And I think we're ready to get to work. This is the white cable that we looked at just a moment ago. Basically, it has an end that goes into the back of your Explorer unit and has two different ends here. This is designed to take the two transducers and bring it to one common input to the back of your head unit. The side with the smaller wire is for the 2D transducer. The side with the thicker wire is for your main mega down and mega side imaging transducer. It's just a matter of connecting the wires like this and screwing them on. Sometimes you can't just get it in a hole, so you can make the hole a little bigger. All right, so we've just temporarily ran the wires up through here, just doing a quick test, making sure things fit, making sure that the unit has power, things are working as expected. You can see we have an image of Rainy Lake here, which is where we're going in our future videos. And so far so good, everything's working as expected. All right, well next is really about doing some cleanup. So putting my cover back on here. I do like using a wire loom. This is what I had here previously to kind of protect and tidy up all the wires, so we'll attach that. And then I had a different mount here I was using for my phone, which had my VesselView Mobile. We're going to replace that with a RAM mount with a cell phone holder on there. This will work really, really nicely. All you need is a B mount, but I had a C here in the garage, so we'll use a C. It'll be a little overkill, but that'll be fine. And then tidying up some of the holes. And it should look really nice when we're done. All right, so mounting transducers. There's many different ways to do it. I would always recommend a transducer plate and the use of silicone, but we're going to go ahead and get started here. Now this looks white now, but this dry as clear. It will look real nice when it's done. We'll clean up some of the excess here. All right, really the last thing here is to find a way to secure your wire so it's not getting hung up on the back of the boat. Usually we can find a spot where we can drill in a little cable manager and tie this up like that. We have one on the other side. We'll show you really quick. However over or away you want it will really be up to you. Just mind any of the components with the engine. And what we're going to cover in a different video is this splash guard. Now this is going to sit over the transducer plate, something kind of like this. It'll also help manage that wire. Keep some of the rooster tail out of the boat. Look forward to that one. All right, moment of truth. Give it some power. Fire it up. That's a good sign. All right, so we've got Rainy Lake here. So I know I've got power. I'm going to go ahead and try out a couple of the transducers here, although we're in the garage. Don't think they're going to work, but just to make sure I get some kind of readout here. Apparently I'm in 8 feet of water, even though the transducer is about a foot off the ground. But we'll take that as a successful test for the moment. All right, back out here on the water. Again, this new 12-inch unit fits in here really, really nicely. You have room underneath to put some sunglasses or maybe a couple lures. Plenty of visibility above the unit through the windshield. I mean, you can see everything very nicely, especially on this side, not having a graph over here. You got a lot of visibility here that you wouldn't have otherwise. Basically, it's a little bit bigger than what the stock gauges were. All your Explorer features are here. The favorites, very nice. We can go through, we can pick whatever we want here. You also have your hard buttons on here. Like I said, everything is networked together, so we are currently spot locked with our Minn Kota Altera up front there, and you can do some controls there. You can anchor all of your gauges on here. Again, you can have them also off to the side like you're used to. We have our Mercury VesselView Mobile. Like I said, we can get RPMs, we can get fuel, we can get any of the readouts that VesselView Mobile offers. All of it's right here. Honestly, the fuel gauge on this is usually, in my case, within a gallon. Way more accurate than the analog gauge that usually comes with most boats. So this is the whole setup. Really, really happy with how it came out. Hope you enjoy the video. If you do, hit that like and subscribe button. Helps out the channel quite a bit. We will see you next time.